I'm Alex Vetter, as many of you already know. I'm the marketing manager here at EasyMorph, and we're really happy you joined us for today's webinar, How to Supercharge Your Data Preparation for Tableau. Today we'll briefly go over a quick overview of what we're talking about. We'll start with about 10 minutes for data visibility and why it's the holy grail of data analysis. And then we'll go into how you can actually use advanced data prep for Tableau and how to automate everything using EasyMorph. Finally, we'll talk about what makes EasyMorph a really good alternative to Alteryx. A lot of people who we talked to at the conference use Alteryx, and maybe some of them are switching over to EasyMorph. Had a lot of good conversations. At the end, we'll open up to Q&A where you can ask questions, and throughout the webinar, we recommend you place your questions in chat, and we'll get to them at the end. So today we have an industry leader joining us. We have Dmitry Gudkov, who's the founder of EasyMorph, and he has over 25 years of experience in the data and analytics industry. Today, he's going to show us how you can actually connect to databases like AWS, Microsoft Azure, Databricks, Snowflake, and many more, and then how you can transform that data and send it to Tableau. But before we start, we'd like to run a poll. So if you could answer the question in chat, it's going to be a simple question. How would you identify your role? I think there's multiple choices. There's like business professional, data analyst, data engineer, manager, or director. Give it a go. And now I'm going to hand it off to Dmitry.
Thank you, Alex. I'm going to share my screen. And today we will talk a lot about Tableau, EasyMorph, and data preparation. But before we start talking about it, so I would like to start with data visibility. So what's data visibility and why I think, well, that's my subjective opinion, but I think it has a point, why data visibility is the holy grail of data analysis. Well, first of all, what's data visibility? Well, simply speaking, data visibility is when you can see and understand your data at every step. And this capability is essential for data analysis. One of the reasons I started EasyMorph 12 years ago is exactly the lack of tools that would provide data visibility. So what makes data visibility essential for anyone who works with data? Well, first, it's data quality problems. If you don't see data, or maybe you see only the top 1,000 rows of it at every step, then it's easy to miss data quality problems. And for anyone who works with data knows perfectly that you can run into any kinds of issues with when you transform data. You can have unwanted duplicates, you can have nulls or empty values where you don't expect them. Values may not make sense from a business perspective. We can have negative balances where you expect only positive balances, and so on. So these problems can hide anywhere, not just in the top 1,000 or 10,000 rows. It can be anywhere in your data set and at any step of your workflow. Second, it's the human errors. So when you transform data, well, the business logic can be complex. Business rules can be sophisticated, especially in certain industries such as banking or finance industries. And data transformation is hard by its own. It's, well, you expected to, you wanted to do a join, and the join did some values didn't match, and you didn't notice it. You do filtering, and your filter didn't work as expected because you had nulls somewhere where you didn't expect them. So data transformation is hard. It's easy to make an error. Even experienced data analysts and data engineers can make errors. So it's not a question who makes errors and who doesn't. Everybody does. The question is, can you spot these errors? Can you spot them early in order to fix them before, well, you realize that, well, the report you published went to decision makers, to the C-level, management, and that report contained bad data. So nobody wants to have the situation. So the sooner you find and fix your errors, the better. Third, business changes. Well, you may have perfect data quality, you may have perfect data validation rules, and everything works as it should, but your organization is never static. Your business is never static. Businesses change all the time. You have new regulations, new business requirements, new marketing campaigns, new acquisitions. All that causes your systems to adapt, and data on those systems change. So, and when it changes, well, all kinds of new issues can come up. So, data is never static. Data always changes, and therefore, having again data visibility is essential to understand what happens with your data at every step. Why existing tools don't offer good data visibility? Well, we will look at two types of tools broadly used in organizations, and we will start with visual ETL kind of and the data prep kind of tools. Well, so why aren't they optimized for data visibility? Well, there are multiple reasons for that. Well, first of all, many tool creators, they don't realize this need, so maybe they lack their own experience with transforming data, or maybe they don't listen to the feedback from their users. But many software developers companies, they simply don't realize this need in data visibility. So, and they design tools that have limited or poor data visibility. First of all, it's very common for data preparation ETL tools only show the top 1,000 rows of data or maybe instead of all of it. Then when you look at unique values, for instance, like in Power Query or in some other tools, you can only see a limited number of unique values in every column, and that again kind of defeats the point. Why, if you are showing all the unique values, why not show all the values in the columns? If you don't see something that doesn't make sense, well, you may have duplicates where you don't expect them, for instance. Third, an annoying feature is that you have to manually rerun your workflow after every change, and even when you produced a full output of some tool, then it's no longer valid because, well, you rerun your workflow and maybe you lose it. And so again, it's difficult. It's difficult to understand what happens at your when you have to constantly rerun and it isn't updated in real time. So that's not convenient. And finally, many tools are focused on data preparation only, but as we perfectly know, well, I assume most people here used to work with Tableau, a brilliant data preparation, data analysis tool. So, and the purpose of Tableau is exactly to make sense of data visually. So, and that principle applies not only to data analysis, it also applies to ETL. You want to be able to build at least simple data visualizations in as long as you transform your data and prepare it, because you want to make sense of your data. You want to understand patterns, you want to understand trends, because again, such data visualization helps you to catch trends, helps you to catch outliers. So so it's super important to have it. Now talking about scripting languages like Python, it's quite popular nowadays to do data preparation with Python, especially among data scientists and people who work with machine learning. And let's admit it. Well, there is a lot of awesome libraries in Python, excellent tools like pandas, for instance, where you can do complex transformations, and it can be done with just a few lines of the script. So it can be very tempting to to Shift and to Python and start transforming all data in Python. But the same data visibility problem exists with scripting languages as well, no matter if it's Python or R or SQL or anything else. Well, first of all, you don't see data. You write a script, it runs, it produces something, but if your business logic is complex, you may want to see what happens with your data at every step. And Python doesn't have built-in tools. Yes, you can design something your own, you can insert something, some steps to debug outputs, but again, you have to take extra effort to do this. It doesn't come out of the box. It's not built into the design, into IDEs. So you transform data without seeing it, and again, it means that you don't see data problems, you don't see errors if you make, and and that holds you back. Well, as with traditional ETL data prep tools, with scripts, you have to rerun after every change, and again, that's time consuming. You just sit and do nothing when the script runs, because, well, context switching is not easy. If you switch context to something else, then it takes you time to get back to context where your script when your script finishes. So not good either. No built-in data profiling, no built-in data visualization. Again, of course, you can build your own tools and everything, but it's always comes an afterthought. So it's not an integral part of the developer development environment. So this is something. And this is something that holds you back. Data visibility is one of the main reasons why EasyMorph has been created. So what, if you're new to EasyMorph and if you haven't heard about this, so what does EasyMorph do? Well, first, it's a visual data preparation and transformation tool and the whole platform that allows transforming data visually, as you will see it in a few minutes. You drag and drop building blocks from a library of steps, and you create workflows visually while transforming and shaping your data as it should be. There are multiple use cases for it: data consolidation, merging, complex calculations, cleansing, validation, metric calculation, advanced filtering. So many complex transformations and calculations can be done with EasyMorph. Second, it's a data automation tool. So it's not just preparing data, but also automating things like file operations, uploading, downloading files, let's say to SharePoint or SFTP. Email automation, web API integrations, database operations, alerts to Teams or Slack, so multiple things, and of course support for Python scripting if you feel like certain things doing in Python, such as, for instance, data science or machine learning. That's totally doable with EasyMorph and can be integrated with other workflows. And finally, it's a good tool for technical data analysis. It's not intended for business data analysis like Tableau, but it's a great tool for technical data analysis where you can filter, analyze, and visualize data at every step. You can look at data from different perspectives in order to detect outliers, some data deficiencies, some inconsistencies. So it's a tool with the built-in data analysis capabilities. So all the three capabilities in one application, and this is what makes EasyMorph special. And plus, of course, what I believe is excellent data visibility not offered by any other application. So let's see how that works all together. And I will start with to explain data visibility. I will start with an example that comes pre-installed with EasyMorph. This example is called Inc 5000. You can find it in EasyMorph and you can play with it, especially if you are new to the application. This is so what you see on your screen is EasyMorph desktop. That's where you design EasyMorph workflows, and this example can be found in the examples tab here in 5000. So here with this example, I want to explain the principle of data visibility. And let me make a quick change here to reveal the chart. This is what makes EasyMorph special. Is its principle, how it transforms data. Because EasyMorph, it's an in-memory application, so it loads all data in memory, even if you work with millions of records, and we will see that how that works in a moment. And then you add data from different sources like databases, files, cloud applications, such as Salesforce or Google Sheets or many others. And then you press add action to see a library of all available actions, and you apply these actions. For instance, if you need to deduplicate data at some step, then you drag and drop it and add it to the table. So transformation steps are shown as icons on top of tables. And every time you click a transformation step, what you see in this table below is the full output, is the full result of this transformation step. So and that allows clicking steps and seeing how data is transformed step by step. So it's basically like a time machine where you can go back to any step and see what your data looks like in its entirety. And not only can you see what your data looks like fully at every step, you can also profile and analyze it. For instance, if you double click a column, you can see all the unique values in that column with counts. So let's say you can sort by count and immediately see if it's unique or not unique. And conveniently, if you sort by value, you can see some wrong values like empty values. You can see coming on top of the list. And again, at any step, you can click any column and see what are the unique values in every column, again, at every step. Besides profiling columns, you can profile the full output. So if you right click and pick a table metadata, then you can see the full output for all columns. So you can see whether they are unique or not, what's the uniqueness percentage, do they have nulls, we call them empty values. And also you can see different data types in each column, text, number, integer, non-integer, the mean value, max value. Again, all that is only possible when you keep all data in memory like EasyMorph does, because if you only have a subset of a sample of data, well, showing max number or minimum number simply doesn't make sense on a sample of data, because, well, you may have something else in the rest of the data that is not shown. Finally, if you switch to a table, if you maximize a table, you switch to the so-called analysis view, where you can explore relationship in data, when you can filter and analyze it. And besides that, you can also build visualizations like simple bar charts, line charts, or cross tables, where you want to see some totals in certain dimensions. So this is all updated in real time. So as soon as you click something and explore, this helps you understand better insight into data relationship, one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many, if you have nulls, if relationships make sense from a business perspective. So that's another great tool for data exploration and data analysis. In this workflow, we combine data from a database and a spreadsheet, and then we merge them together, and the result is exported to Excel. This is the standard example. It comes with EasyMorph. Now let's look at something that is more Tableau specific. So I prepared an example where we pull data from a database, and to load data from databases, including cloud databases like Databricks or Snowflake or Amazon Redshift or BigQuery. You configure a database in this case, in my example, this connector goes to Postgres, but it can be equally connected to any of the popular databases and cloud data warehouses. After you connect, everything looks the same for every database, so everything looks uniform. You pick a table, you pick columns in the table. If you need to add a filtering condition, then you can also create a filter and pick some pick some value greater than okay, maybe that's not okay, so now it works. Pick some value and as a filter, or you can create multiple filters like that, and then import your data into EasyMorph. So once it's loaded into EasyMorph, we can start and transform it in different ways. EasyMorph offers a very, very comprehensive library of different transformations. There are dozens of different tools, like different types of joins, regular join, interval join, fuzzy join, cross join, natural join, different types of filtering using a formula, using by data type, by text search, tools or actions to work with hierarchy calculations when you have charts of accounts, when you have organizational charts. So again, you can use these tools, things like regular expressions, statistical calculations, different types of parsing, splitting delimited values into rows, into columns, pivoting, unpivoting. So it would take several hours for me to go through all the tools that EasyMorph offers. In this example, we will use one of the actions that would replace or remove unnecessary substrings in our data. So in the data set, in the table we pulled from this database, we have a list of companies with failed orders. So those orders failed. And if you look at the company names, they have like corporation forms like LTD or incorporated or corporation. And let's assume we want to remove it. Like it's this, we don't care about the legal form of this organization. We just care about the organization name. So we want to remove that. In a separate table, we have an Excel spreadsheet. And we can see the spreadsheet. By pressing this button, I immediately open the spreadsheet in Excel. So it's loading. Okay, well, these are the stop words we want to remove from company names. So we load this spreadsheet in Excel, and we add a new column, a new value that is empty, because the action, it replaces values in one column with values in another column. If you keep the other column empty, it will simply remove all those stop words. So we applied this, and we can see that at the first step, as soon as we imported data from the database, we see those organization forms like limited, and then here we don't see them again. We can go back and forth and see that values disappear after we applied this filtering condition. Now, one step that I missed here is we look at the company profiler, at the cell profiler for the company column. We see that yes, we removed these stop words, but the stop words were separated by a space. So when we remove the stop word, trailing space remains. So now we want to remove this trailing space as well, and I do it by adding one more step, that is modify column. So from the basic steps, I pick modify columns. I insert it here, and I pick the column to modify, and I use I'm going to use an expression to remove trailing spaces. So now, if you're new to EasyMorph, you may not know all the functions because EasyMorph has many functions. In this case, you can use you can use our AI-assisted expression generator, where you can simply type what you need to achieve and press generate expression. And okay, well, EasyMorph, well, the AI looked into the reference materials on EasyMorph and suggested the necessary expression. So this expression looks good, so let's apply it. And now we can check it again with our cell profiler that there are no trailing spaces anymore. And again, they existed in the previous step. We can see trailing spaces 1, and the next step, if you select the same value, well, there are no trailing spaces. All right, again, it worked as expected. And one more example, when it's nice to have full data visibility and instant recalculation. So I didn't have to rerun my workflow from the beginning. I just applied a step, apply the formula like you do it in Excel, and the result is immediately recalculated. So this is the principle of data visibility and reactive recalculation. Let's keep going. Besides all those tools that are available in EasyMorph out of the box, you can create your own custom tools, or as we call them, custom actions. This is possible when you have EasyMorph Hub, well, previously called EasyMorph Server. So if you have EasyMorph Hub and you have Explorer, in EasyMorph Hub Explorer, it allows creating data catalog and having data catalog assets. So let me show you what it looks like. So well, this is EasyMorph Hub, and besides task automation, scheduling, it has multiple other capabilities, including data catalog assets. So you can create these assets that can be tables, metrics, workflows, algorithms, and these assets, besides, well, working as a data discovery and the data retrieval tool, they can also be used as custom transformations or custom actions. To see custom actions, when you browse the library of actions, you switch to another mode, which is called Explorer Assets. And in this mode, you can drag and drop and apply catalog assets just like regular actions. So here I added a tool that is called K-means analysis. Well, this is the tool, K-means analysis. And this action requires specifying column names and the number of segments. So it's a custom built transformation that calculates, that does clustering and assigns a cluster number to every row. So before, so as we can see, before this tool, we don't have the cluster column. After this tool, we do have this cluster column. So we added this cluster column, and now we can export. So when we apply this clustering algorithm, under the hood, we can look. By the way, we can look at this clustering algorithm, and under the hood, it runs a Python script, and that Python script. So we will open from the catalog, custom actions, K-means analysis. Okay, it's a newer version, so probably I don't have it. Okay, yes, it's a newer version, and I'm using an older version of desktop, so I didn't update it yet. So we cannot look. I cannot show it right now, so I need to update my desktop. But under the hood, it's just one action that runs a Python script, because EasyMorph has this run Python. Call Python action. So it runs a Python script that does clustering under the hood and returns the result to EasyMorph. So this cluster column is added. And now I can use this dataset to publish to Tableau. I can use custom actions for basically anything. It can be custom transformation. It can be as based on AI. For instance, you can use automatic translation from some language, let's say from Japanese to English, or from German to English, or to Spanish. Also, you can pull data from exotic systems. If you have a legacy application, you can make it as a custom action in EasyMorph. Or if you export something into an exotic data format or some web API that is not natively supported out of the box in EasyMorph, again, you can create a custom export action and push data into that application with just one step in EasyMorph. Now, as we transform our data as necessary, we push the result into Tableau, and for that we use the export to Tableau action. It can generate a hyper file, or if you have a very old version of Tableau, we still support TDE files, so that works as well. So you can push data into Tableau server and or Tableau online, and there we have a data set. So if we go to our Tableau, then we have our data set. So I created a data source called failed orders, and in my example, I load those numbers, and okay, so let's I export it to Tableau. So in my example, we have two segments. So we clustered all the failed orders by value to distinguish small and large orders. So now let's run this step and export the result to Tableau. Okay, the export is running, and the result is exported. Now let's refresh our data. We can go data, failed orders, and let's refresh. Okay, we see a chart. All the companies are ranked by failed order value, and we can, because we applied clustering, we use the cluster number as the bar color. So we can see we have two clusters. We also can see them. We have a simple pie chart to see the total value in each cluster. And okay, so as expected, we have two clusters. Now, if you go back to our workflow, and we change it to, let's say, to seeing 3 clusters. So maybe 2 clusters is not enough. Now I want to see 3 clusters. I'm reapplying this clustering step, and I'm re-exporting the result to Tableau. Okay, and let's refresh the data source. Okay, now we see that the colors for some of the bars, the colors of some of the bars changed, and now we have 3 clusters. Again, if you see a summary, now we see 3 clusters of values. So, well, this is exactly what we expected to see. Well, this is an example how you can prepare data for Tableau using built-in actions, using custom actions, by combining two or using data from 2 different sources, a database and a spreadsheet. So besides data preparation, what else can you do with EasyMorph? EasyMorph goes beyond just data prep, because EasyMorph, it's a general purpose data automation tool. What I'm going to demonstrate to you next is how you can use EasyMorph to automatically generate and send out PDF reports from your dashboard. Well, this is one of the examples of automation. So these operations are not exactly data preparation, it's just automation in general. And this type of automation can include many different things. Well, it can include file transfer, so you can upload and download files to Google Drive or OneDrive or Dropbox or SharePoint. You can perform file operations such as copying, moving, deleting, renaming files and folders. You can run applications, you can run scripts, Python scripts, PowerShell scripts, or any other application from the command line. You can send emails and receive emails. You can send web requests. And also you can organize complex workflows with loops, subroutines, conditional branching, error handling, and many other tools and applications for EasyMorph. And there is a lot of experimentation with AI nowadays. And of course, you can use AI in your workflows as well with the Ask AI action that works with ChatGPT, Claude, or any AI compatible open AI compatible service, including local models if you use any of those. So in our example, we will be using a different action. It's called Tableau server command. So here we use action export to Tableau, and here we will be using another action that automates different Tableau operations, such as run extract refresh. Let's say you have an extract declared or data source declared on Tableau, and that data source is linked to a database. Then you can update this database with EasyMorph and then run extract refresh to trigger refreshing, and that in turn will update your dashboards and reports. Also, you can use EasyMorph in a mixed environment with when you have prep flows published on your server, and in this case you can use EasyMorph as an orchestration tool that performs different calculations and then triggers prep flows right on your Tableau server or Tableau cloud. And we've recently added one more command that allows downloaded workbooks as a PDF. So if you run this command and see what happens, it will download the selected view. So we can have multiple Tableau views and workbooks. It will save it as a PDF file, and we can see that PDF file. So 1 second, I'm opening this PDF. Okay, Adobe Reader is not the fastest application, so let me drag it. Okay, here we go. This is the workbook we created. Now I export it as a PDF, and as a next step, I'm going to send this PDF I will send it to Alex. So for that, I add the send email action. So it's already in my application. In my workflow, it's just disabled. If I didn't have it, I would go to the external steps and select send email and just dragged and inserted it here like that. Okay, I'm going to enable it. And we will. So I'm using a pre-configured email connector. I'm sending it to Alex as report. So check it out, and I attach the generated PDF reports that was generated on the previous step. Now, if I run that, let's see what happens. Okay, the report has been sent, and also. It is important to know that when you generate those PDF reports, you can configure filters. So filters like dates or regions, filters in your Tableau workbooks, they can configured here, and they can be parameterized. They can be parameterized so that you can send the same workbook, but with different filters applied to produce different versions of your PDF reports, let's say for different regions, for different salespeople, for different departments, and send it by email automatically to different people. So it's a PDF report generation and publishing tool when you use filters. Now, Alex, tell us if you received this email, and maybe if you can show it, just to prove it that it worked.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull it up here. I will share my screen. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yep, I went ahead and received the report, and I can see the clustering as well.
Perfect, perfect. So it worked. It worked as advertised, and the email has been delivered. In a similar fashion, you can, let's say, you can generate reports and upload them to SharePoint. For that, you would add the SharePoint command action, where
Hey,
where you
Dimitri, do
would.
you want to share your screen again?
Oh yes, sure. Sorry. Okay, I resume sharing. So I'll repeat this again. To upload to SharePoint, I would use the SharePoint command action. Again, it's short, and drag it after I produce this PDF report. And in the SharePoint command, I would use the upload file command. I would pick the PDF file that was just generated. It's on my desktop. Yeah, that view that was just generated, and it will be published to SharePoint in a similar fashion. And also, let's say after I publish to SharePoint, I can add a Slack message. So I can use the Slack bot action in EasyMorph, where I can send a message saying the report has been updated. I can pick a channel to send it to, and again, it would work as advertised. It would notify your team that a new version of some report has been published to SharePoint. And by the way, if you don't like SharePoint, check out our EasyMorph hub, because it's a pretty solid alternative to SharePoint for collaboration, file sharing, and many more. So this is a brief overview of automation capabilities in EasyMorph. There are many others, but I leave it up to you to explore what's possible, or you can also book a demo with us and discuss it in more detail. Finally, I wanted to say a few words about what makes EasyMorph an alternative to Alteryx, because I know that many Tableau customers, they use Alteryx for data preparation, and while it made sense 10 years ago, things have changed, and nowadays you have a much better, my opinion, of course, and I'm biased, of course, but hear me out. There are good points to consider EasyMorph as a solid alternative to Alteryx, and it's not just pricing. It's not just pricing. Well, first of all, let's talk a bit about Alteryx. Alteryx is based on it uses the traditional ETL concept, where you design workflows by connecting tools with lines, and it's a very typical workflow representation that is quite common in almost all ETL applications. It's called DAG, Directed Acyclic Graph. So what's wrong with this? Well, this type of workflow representation was designed in the 90s. It was the original ETL workflow representation, and it was designed in the 90s. And the problem the people had in the 90s, and software designers back then, is that computers had very little memory. 30 years ago, a decent server had 16 to 32 megabytes of memory. And when you have that little memory, you don't have any other choice but process your data chunk by chunk or batch by batch, like loading 1,000 rows, processing it, collecting the output, loading another 1,000 rows, processing it, and appending to the output. So, and this is how ETL tools, including Alteryx, used to work. This approach has poor data visibility, because if you click a tool in Alteryx, it only shows 1 megabyte of data. 1 megabyte. So nowadays we have gigabytes of data of RAM on an average laptop, but Alteryx still shows you a very small subset of data at every tool. And if you need to see the full output of some tool, then you need to connect the browse tool after a tool you're looking to explore, and then rerun your workflow from the beginning. Oof, that's not convenient. That's cumbersome. That's very outdated. In EasyMorph, you click a step and you see the full output immediately. No need to connect anything. No need to rerun anything. So it's simply there the moment you change it. And also, Alteryx has other architectural deficiencies, such as one strict data type per column. You can define a column, or you must define a data type for each column. And God forbid if you declare the text type and it has, let's say, 100 characters, and your value for some reason has 150 characters. It will be silently cut, and it's a data error that is introduced by the tool, which I believe is ridiculous, and it can catch you unguarded. So again, not good. And finally, EasyMorph is very, very overpriced. It made sense when maybe 10, 15 years ago, when there was no alternative like EasyMorph. But nowadays, you have EasyMorph, more modern, more visual, very capable application that costs 5 times less than Alteryx, literally 5 times less than Alteryx. And it's not because it's inferior, it's just because EasyMorph is more reasonably priced, which reflects better the reality. So overall, Alteryx is it's not a bad tool, it's a good tool, it's capable, but 10 years ago, it made sense using Alteryx for Tableau. Nowadays, I would recommend everyone consider switching from Alteryx to EasyMorph. Book a demo with us, book a call with us to discuss it, because it will allow you to get things done faster, easier, and you will save a lot on licensing costs, up to 75–80% on licensing costs. Well, that's not a pocket change. Well, that can be significant, especially if you look for multiple years ahead. And by the way, I forgot to demonstrate you how EasyMorph can work with large data sets. So here I'm going to import a data set that contains quite a few records. So if okay, 1 second, I find it on my my workflows. So I'm going to import a data set that contains taxi. It's a famous test data set that contains taxi trips in New York over several months, over 6 months in this case. And it takes a bit while to load, but my computer is slow because I'm sharing my screen and running WebEx. Usually it loads in about 4 seconds. And this data set, as you can see, it contains 18 million records. 18 million records, and you may question, okay, well, does it take, how much memory does it take? If you look at the task manager, look at the task manager on my computer, okay, and it's a bit slow. You can see that EasyMorph takes, okay, it's freezing a bit. So EasyMorph takes slightly less than 2 gigabytes of RAM. So I can work with 18 million records on my laptop, and EasyMorph takes still has lots of memory. For instance, okay, if I want to add a filter, and I want to, again, I immediately see that there is a problem with trips not having the number of passengers indicated, so I can create a filter. And you can see that calculations on such a big data set are pretty much instant. So this filtering operation took less than, okay, it took 160 milliseconds to accomplish, much less than even 1 second, so almost instantly. So that's another demonstration. That's all I wanted to show you today. I leave this slide for you to demonstrate that there are more capabilities in EasyMorph for Tableau than those that I mentioned today.
Dmitry, thank you so much for coming, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Thanks, everyone.